Hello, wrestling fans, boxing fans, and everybody out there. It's me, Ride Time, wrestling and boxing forever. Now, the NWA had their Power Trip event. Breaking news from that event. Matt Cardona, former Intercontinental Champion, former WWE Tag Team Champion, former WWE United States Champion, current current digital media, Impact Wrestling digital media champion, and now he can add NWA World's Heavyweight Championship to his credit. Matt Cardona, white hot since he left the WWE, former Game Changer Wrestling World's Champion, like I said, current digital media champion for Impact Wrestling. He had all those accolades from the WWE, Intercontinental Champion, Tag Champ, US Champ, had all of those accolades. But now he can add the NWA World Heavyweight title to his credit. Matt Cardona is white hot right now. He ends the reign of Trevor Murdoch. Trevor Murdoch, double tough. I don't think he's done. He'll be back. Speaking of comebacks, the Pope, Elijah Burke, made his return against Mike Knox. Camille successfully holds on to her NWA World's Women's Championship. And speaking of new champions, Anthony Mayweather, aka Crimson, defeats Chris Adonis. We have a new national champion. And folks, I wonder how all this is going to shape up the Crockett Cup. Because we're going towards the Crockett Cup. The Crockett Cup this year, 2022, is going to be in Nashville, Tennessee. It's going to be in Nashville. So, we were supposed to get one in 2020, but due to circumstances out of everybody's control, it was postponed. You guys know what I'm talking about. For those who are dealing with this situation, I hope everybody's staying safe, and I hope everybody's staying safe from this from the situation we're in. I hope everybody's staying safe, cool, calm, collected. Speaking of the Crockett Cup, the NWA is crowning the junior heavyweight champion. I made a video on the championship. I made a video of why I think the NWA Junior Heavyweight Championship would be a great fit with the NWA. That was my first video on this channel. Very first video on this channel. So please go check that out and tell me what you think. Thank you, NWA, for listening to the fans. Thank you, NWA, for listening to the fans. The Final Four have taken shape. Homicide. He won that gauntlet match. Austin Aries. Darius Lockhart. And Kobe Carino. The Final Four have been named. Who's going to come out of Nashville as the NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion? In my opinion, any one of those guys have a shot. I don't have a favorite in that matchup. I don't have a favorite in that matchup. But it's going to be great. Like I said, Matt Cardona, NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. New NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. He's also the Impact Wrestling Digital Media Champ. The Digital Media Championship is an intergender championship. He won that championship from Jordan Grace. It's a belt that both men and women can hold. So basically, it's an intergender championship. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it's a belt that both men and women can wrestle for. That's what the Impact Wrestling Digital Media Championship is. It's a belt that both men and women can compete for. So, which is cool, very innovative. Matt Cardona is your new NWA World Champion. Anthony Mayweather defeats Chris Adonis. We got a new national champion. Let's move on to some boxing news. Danny Jacobs comes back to boxing after a long layoff. Against a guy named John Ryder in a WBA 168-pound title eliminator. And John Ryder pulls off the upset over Danny Jacobs. Some people call it robbery, like Danny Jacobs got robbed. So, the best way to do it, in my opinion, is to have a rematch. Because this went on in the UK. This happened in the UK. And, this went on in the UK. So if I was Danny Jacobs, I'd ask for a rematch. I'd ask for a rematch. And make sure it's fair for everybody. Because the guy he was fighting was a UK fighter, was a man from the UK, from the United Kingdom, from London. Some people had Danny Jacobs winning the fight. Some people call it robbery, some people call it an upset. But the only way to do it is to have a rematch. And in heavyweight boxing news, Philip Hrgovic, I think I'm saying his name right, finally has a acceptance for the IBF title eliminator. They took a while to find him an opponent, but it was finally accepted. We'll see what happens with that. Robert Easter Jr. I reported it in my last video. I found out that he had gotten shot Kurt DeVille from Counterpunch Boxing News broke the story. Shouts out to him. Shouts out to Showbiz the Adult. I'm fans of both of you guys. And Bruce Bain, I'm a fan of his as well. Shouts out to everybody. That's on YouTube covering wrestling, boxing, MMA, whatever your thing is. Shouts out to all of you. You know? Because sometimes it's very difficult to keep up with all these stories that are going around in sports. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. So shouts out to everybody who does their best to keep up with everything, because sometimes there's a lot going on and you can't really keep up with it. Folks, I hope Robert Easter Jr. has a full recovery and he comes back to the sport of boxing. Last time I understood, last thing I heard, he was doing all right. He was in good spirits. He was doing okay. I hope he pulls through, comes back to the sport of boxing, and resumes his career. And the WBA champion Ugas, the guy who retired Manny Pacquiao, is getting ready to meet up with Earl Spence Jr. Earl Spence is the unified IBF WBC champ. And he's getting ready for a fight with Ugas, April 16th at TNT Stadium. That's gonna be that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good fight. That's gonna be a good fight. But due to, folks, I gotta say something to get this off my chest. You can cheer and boo for whoever you want, like or dislike whoever you want, but there's no reason for a boxer, there's no reason for athletes to put their hands on fans, or vice versa, fans putting their hands on the entertainers, the sports guys, the boxers, the wrestlers, the MMA fighters, or whoever. You know, you can cheer and boo for whoever you want. That's your privilege, your right. But there's no need to get physical. Whether it's the fans getting physical with the athlete or the athlete getting physical with the fans. There's no reason for it. You can cheer and boo for whoever you like or dislike whoever you want. But there's no need for violence against fighters against fans, or fans against fighters, or boxers, wrestlers, MMA fighters, whoever they are. There's no reason for it. There's sure not a reason for somebody to get shot at. Like I said, like or dislike whoever you want, but there's no need for violence. I mean, if you're a boxer and you're in the ring and you're fighting, that's one thing. If you're a wrestler and you're in there having your match, or you're an MMA fighter having your match, that's one thing. But there's no reason for violence outside of what you do for a living. If you are a fighter, like a boxer, an MMA fighter, a wrestler, or, you know, there's no need for violence outside of the realm of boxing, wrestling, or MMA. You know, there's no need for violence outside of the sport that you are a part of. wrestling, boxing, or MMA. There's no reason for fans to go after fighters outside the ring. There's no reason for fighters to get so mad at fans that they attack them. You know what I mean? Let's keep our fighters, wrestlers, let's keep our MMA fighters, our boxers, our wrestlers, let's keep them safe. Let's keep the fans safe. Let's keep everybody safe so nobody gets hurt outside the ring unnecessarily, outside the MMA cage unnecessarily. Fans, you have a right to cheer and boo for whoever you want, but there's no reason to get physical with anyone. Shouts out to Robert Easter Jr. I hope he's gonna be okay. I hope he pulls through. I hope he's able to reestablish his career and continue. Folks, I'm new at this YouTube thing, so I'm still learning. But I like to give a shout out to everybody who supported me, to all of my subscribers and friends and all the people that have been supportive of this YouTube channel. And wrestling and boxing forever. I'm out.